Thank you all for joining us. Good afternoon. My name is Dan Fleming. I'm with Aim National Lease and Aim Leasing Company. And we'd like to thank all of you, both our customers and just folks interested in what we have to offer, for joining us today. For those of you that are not familiar with us, Aim Leasing is the largest privately held truck leasing company in the country. And we're still proud to be a family-owned business and happy to serve all those in need of transportation services. We're founded on the principle that service is our only product, and whether our customers need integrated logistics, to truck leasing, to occasional rentals, or managed or even occasional maintenance, Aim is here to help. And we thank all of our current customers, both new and long-term, and any folks just interested in hearing about what Aim has to offer. So we're here today to talk about our newest app that we're offering, the Aim Navigator. It's a very important new feature to streamline the process for your drivers, for their managers, and for Aim to be able to provide the top-notch service that our customers are used to. So I am joined by several of the Aim team, but specifically, again, myself, Dan Fleming, and I'm joined by Mary Zagarovich from our IT team, who's going to be leading you through today's agenda. We're just going to talk a little bit about our mobile DVIR system itself, how you get started, the driver's process for submitting the data, and then importantly, accessing and using that data. Because after all, if you can't utilize the data, then it's not really that helpful. So, you know, I've been in the industry long enough, as I'm sure most of you have, to have dealt with the paper DVIR system and the long-term needs and problems that have come from that, from not only lost paper trip reports, lost paper inspection reports, either at the shop or in the cab of the truck. Our goal with this process was to eliminate that fumbling for an inspection book at a scale, but also to eliminate the need for your drivers to turn that inspection report into their supervisors, who then reach out to our shop. We're trying to streamline that process and make it as smooth as possible. And that was really the goal of our mobile DVIR platform. You know, Aim, through our IT department, moved to an electronic DVIR many years ago, tied to either a desktop or a laptop back in the shop. But we wanted to move past that, you know, given that every driver out there has a smartphone of some sort. We wanted to make it simple and make our DVIR process as mobile as your drivers, and streamline that process to also keep you in compliance with DOT regulations. So we turned to our in-house IT staff to take the ball and run with it and bring us into the mobile platform for our DVIRs. So I'd like to hand it over to Mary, who's going to take us through the different stages and uses of the application.
Thank you, Dan. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mary. I'm our quality assurance specialist here, and I'm just going to go through the different pieces of the mobile DVIR app in Aim Navigator. So what mobile DVIR is bringing you is a free, easy installation and setup. You just go to the App Store and download it. It's a contactless submission, so there's no handling of paper, like Dan said. No using a computer that someone else has maybe used. And with what we're dealing with right now, we know that's really important. Report tracking. We're going to provide you with data that's going to allow you to, make sure that your drivers are doing what they're supposed to be doing and track the health of your fleet. Easy retrieval of that data. So, you'll pull up your phone and we'll show you how to look at the history of those DVIR submissions. There's no login required, so it's very quick. You don't have to remember a password. You just grab your phone. If you know your unit number, you can get started. And then, like I said, you just enter your unit number. So to get started, you would go to either the App Store or the Play Store, depending on the device that you have, an iPhone or an Android. You would search for Aim Navigator and download the app, install it on your phone. Nothing special is required for that. Launch the app, go to the menu. There's a little menu button at the top left. And you see here in the first screenshot is the menu with home, and you just tap mDVIR to get into this application. It launches mobile DVIR. You enter your unit number. That's where you start. And then you would tap new. Then it takes you to the next screen, which is filling out the form to get started on doing your submission. So I'll show you on the next slide. There's a few more screens to that. Okay, so once you've entered your unit number, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you are entering the proper vehicle. So you'll select the company that you drive for if it's there. If otherwise, it would just take you straight to the next form. So you can select the company, and then you're ready to pick your defects. This is where your drivers would say, this is what's wrong with my vehicle, or you could select no defect. Some of our customers do track no defect submissions just to say that, we've done an inspection pre-trip or post-trip, and you can track that as well. So in this example, I've picked that there was an issue with the tire. So I would tap the tires category, and then it takes me to the details page. What's wrong with the tire? You can pick from all of the different things listed there. There's a flat tire, maybe there's irregular wear. Also, you see other at the bottom. So maybe there's something wrong with your tire that's not listed there. You can tap other, and then it takes you to enter the text that you need. In this example, I chose that there was an obvious object in the tire. So I tap that, I get to my details page. What's the object in the tire? You can type any additional information in this section that you would want the shop to know. So maybe you'd say what the object is, what tire it is, maybe the size of your tire, anything additional that would help with your repair. You save that, and then maybe let's say, oh, I forgot, I need to add, I forgot to put which tire it was. I can go back in, type additional text, and save that as well. So there's no need to start over, or no need to get a new piece of paper or any of that. Okay, so once you've typed all of the information that you need, you just save that, and then it takes you back to your categories. So I've entered one defect for my tire. You can see there that it's highlighted, and it shows me I've entered one thing. Maybe I have something additionally wrong with the tire. I could also go back in and add an additional thing. Not only is there an object in the tire, but it's flat. I could put that as well. So I've got one thing added for tires. If I don't need to add anything else, I can continue. But at this point, I could say, well, in addition to my tire, maybe my lift gate's broken. I need to say that too. That's been broken for a couple of days. Your driver could go in and tap lift gate, go through the same process, enter the info that they need to get the shop to know, and then they just save that. Once you're all finished, you tap submit at the bottom. It's going to pop up a message that just says, are you sure? At this point, you could say, oh, no, I forgot to add something, or the driver would just hit yes, and it confirms that they've submitted their inspection report. So that immediately then goes to, once they hit submit and they get the confirmation, it immediately goes to the shop. An email goes out to the servicing manager at the shop. They're notified via that, and also it goes into a portal that I'll show you here shortly. In addition to the service managers receiving those emails, customers can also receive an email. So maybe you want to know every time a repair is submitted, or every time an inspection is done, we can send you an email. We can send it to a group, a number of people, and that way you're notified right off the bat as well, anytime a submission is done. You also can get emails about updates to repairs. So when the shop has finished the repair and they've marked it as complete in the system, you'll get an email for that as well.
And Mary, if I can just mention here, just to remind folks, this in no way replaces AIM's 1-800 breakdown number. So we're not suggesting that a driver use this app if he's, for example, broken down on the side of the road with the flat tire.
Absolutely.
In that case, we still operate as usual our 1-800 number, staffed by AIM personnel 24 hours a day at our headquarters in Ohio. This is more for your regular vehicle, as Mary said, pre or post-trip inspection. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Thanks, Mary.
Yes, absolutely. Good point. All right, we can advance to the next slide here. So our notifications go out, and like I said, all of that, then everyone's notified about the inspection and any repairs that need to be done. So now I'd like to show you the history. Back on that first screen where you enter your unit number, you can tap history instead of new, and it's going to give you a time period worth of all of the inspections that have been done for that unit. Any of them that have a defect, you can tap that entry. So let's say your driver gets pulled over and they need to say, let me see your last inspection. If their last inspection had a defect, they could open that up and show the DOT officer there was a problem with the lights and this is still an ongoing issue. Or the status might say, have a C there and say that it's been completed, it's fixed. So my last post-trip inspection I did had an issue, it went to the shop, it was all fixed and I'm good to go. So that gives them the opportunity to just, instead of shuffling for papers, maybe they didn't remember to get a copy from the shop when they did their last inspection. They can just grab their phone that's right in the truck with them, pull it up very quickly and show the officer right on the phone. So that's a nice way to, get your current up-to-date history of your unit at a moment's notice.
And it also eliminates the requirement to have a signed off DVIR book. I know that's always been a challenge where a driver may fill out his DVIR. We submit it to the shop, say via fax. The shop takes care of it and might fax back information, email back, confirm that the defect was taken care of, but then that original book doesn't get signed off on. I know that can be a challenge, say at an inspection station. By using the mobile process here, it's all in one place. So as soon as our shop signs off on closing and repairing a defect, it's available on the driver's app real time for that driver to be able to show any inspector at any time.
Yes, absolutely. All right. In addition to the emails and viewing the history on the phone, we have CWA1, which is our customer web portal. This is also the same type of view that our supervisor has. So when the inspection is submitted, the supervisor can go into their web screen and see all of the submissions that drivers have made for the day. In addition, customer, you can go in and have a look at all of the submissions done for your fleet. You can filter at the top. You can look at those that have defects, those that do not. You can look for a specific unit if you like, and you can go back and look as far back as a year in here. So you can print them. This gives you a nice way to keep track of the health of your fleet and make sure that your drivers are submitting things the way that they should. So this also is a way for you to track what's going on throughout the day and see updates to these repairs as well. In addition to that, we also have reporting that we can get out to you. We have our driver vehicle inspection report here. We can show this a multitude of ways. We can look at open cases, like open submissions. We can look at completed ones, and this gives you another way. We'll send this to you as an Excel file. I can email it maybe weekly or monthly, even daily if you want. And this gives you the facility that it was repaired at, the submission time, the reason that it was submitted. Maybe you want to see just the defects in here so you can track the health of your fleet. Or if you want to track no defects as well, just to know that your drivers are doing pre and post trip inspections as expected. And the next one we'll look at is the completed report. This shows all of the ones that are completed. So maybe you want to see like last week's data. This one also gives you an average days to completion. So this is kind of like your report card for AIM. It gives you a good indication of how long it's taking your service location to get the repair completed. So, you know, we kind of like to keep those numbers down, obviously, and looks like we're doing a pretty good job of that here. But this gives you the ability to look at the status of the unit number. So if you wanted to track one particular unit, you could do that. Gives you your driver name, the reason, what's going on with it, and the amount of time elapsed on that repair as well. So lots of different things there that you can track. And since this is in Excel, you'll be able to sort and filter and, you know, crunch those numbers how you see fit. Okay, so again, you just go to the App Store or the Google Play Store to download that. And, you know, we think this is really a wonderful way to make sure that your repairs are getting submitted quickly and easily, and that you're able to track that data and see, you know, exactly what your drivers are doing and how your trucks are doing.
And I'd just like to open it up at this point for any questions. You can feel free to ask in person here live, or there's a chat function too. Now that we're all used to Zooming for almost all of our meetings anymore, I think everyone's familiar with the chat feature. So please feel free to type any questions into the chat.
I did see one come through.
Okay.
The question was, how do we go about creating login credentials to access the web portal to view our fleet data? For this particular system, you could just reach out to your service location, your service manager, or your sales representative, and they'll get with us and we'll get that set up for you. So we'll create a login for you, make sure that all of your units are set up and ready to go. And as it stands right now, you know, the app is out there, it's ready to go. Your drivers can download it and start using it. But for the login, we'll send you all of that information when we get your account set up. Oh, and the next question, what is the web address? We'll send you that when we get, you know, if we get your account created, we'll send you the link and the username, password, and all of the information that you need to get to that.
But Mary, in general, that's off the AIM website. So
it is accessible from our public website. That's correct.
Correct. But we'll, as Mary stated, we'll get you
Yes.
a login. Somebody sent another question here also privately. Can supervisors track which drivers are filling out DVIRs, Mary?
Yes. Yes. The reporting that we send out is a great way. You just download that Excel file. You can sort it by driver name, and then maybe you can sort it by submission date as well. So you can, you know, say, okay, well, in the month of January, I had these drivers all submitting and this one wasn't. That gives you a great tool to see who's submitting what and when.
And Mary, I think I brought this back up. I think it's available in here too, obviously by facility, by unit number, and there's also information for the driver as well. You can have that as an option on your list. So,
yes.
What if something is wrong with our truck that isn't on the list of defects?
Oh, okay. That was back on slide.
Yep, back on when we're entering defects.
Yes. Here. So on that list of category, it's a long list, so you'd have to scroll down below where it says horn at the bottom. There is a category called other. When you choose other, it takes you straight to the details where you can type in any text that you want. So you would just let the shop know whatever's going on. That all gets put straight into our system after submission, and it's put in as like a total vehicle inspection. Since we don't have anything specific, you know, you've chosen other, they do a total vehicle inspection, and then they look at the text that the driver has entered to know what is going on. So you can always type in whatever you want there. Will the portal indicate, we have a question here from John. Will the portal indicate if a unit is in need for preventative maintenance service? This portal does not, but we do have other methods of getting that data to you. We have a ton of maintenance reporting that we can send to our customers. We have PM reports that we can send out. We have reports that show all of your PMs. We have reports that show just the exceptions, that things that are due or overdue. And we can send those out at any frequency as well.
But you know, Mary, I also would say that, in my opinion, we pride ourselves on being a family company, and again, communication's important, where service is very important to us. I like to encourage our service managers to reach out to the operators of our customers to, number one, schedule the preventative service in a timely manner that's friendly for our customers and will be most efficient for the shop to get your truck in and out. But also, I think that one-on-one communication many times also can help the service manager get an idea of any additional repairs or additional work that might need to come up that sometimes a driver may not want to fill out a DVIR for, whether his seat's squeaking or his radio's not working. You know, those driver comforts issues that don't necessarily come up on a DVIR, but really are critical in order to keep drivers happy and retain drivers.
Absolutely.
But one thing I wanted to, Mary, those reports, those would just come to his email inbox on, you know, like weekly, monthly basis and tell him when any of his vehicles were up for PM.
Yep. Sure will. Will this portal report on equipment leased through AIM and our company-owned vehicles? Yes. Yes, they're in our system. You can absolutely submit inspections on any of those vehicles, yes.
Correct. Just for clarification, that is if AIM is helping manage your maintenance. So in other words, units that come into our shop for, as I said at the beginning, either our managed maintenance program or even occasional maintenance program, as long as they're coming through an AIM shop, then a lot of this data is available.
That's correct.
If company-owned trucks not coming through an AIM shop, we obviously don't have the data to report back to you on. I have one more too here on another private message. How do I make sure I'm choosing my correct truck? That's a great question, Mary.
That's actually this very first screenshot here in this slide.
Is it this one or this last one?
Just go back to the one you were on, where it says company 1, company 2 in the very first screenshot there. That would say, maybe, let's say you're unit number 500 and we have several customers that have a unit number 500. You know, we have our unique AIM number, but a lot of our customers may have the same unit number. We list the customers there. So your driver would just pick who they're driving for, and then it would continue on to the next screen, which is that form that they fill out. They enter their name, they enter the submission date. And it also, by default, puts in their repair facility, the one that's assigned to the unit. And if need be, they could change that as well. It's got a list of all of our facilities there. So if the driver happens to be in another location where they're closer to another service shop, an AIM service shop, they can pick that as well. And it would go, all of the data would go to that shop. So that's how you know you're picking the correct truck and the correct customer.
Absolutely.
If the customer is set up with CWA3, do they use the same login credentials? No, it's a different account, but it's kind of the same thing. So if you currently use CWA3 to look at your repair data and your invoice data, it's similar. We would, you know, do the same kind of thing. We'll set you up with an account, and but it is a different login, a different. You can still get there from the public AIM website. It just happens to be a different login.
And then I think along those lines too, I just want to remind folks that you already mentioned, Mary, that not only the service managers will receive these emails, but driver supervisors can be set up to receive these emails as well.
Yes.
All you would need to do is to reach out to your AIM representative, whether that be at the shop side or on the sales side, to get you set up to receive this information.
Yep. Should be quick and painless. Do we have any other questions?
Well, if we don't have any other questions, I want to be respectful of everybody's time and thank you all for joining us again. Please jump on your App Store or your Google Play, in my case, and download the Aim Navigator app. As Mary said, please search for Aim Navigator, and you will find it in the App Store, and it's a simple, free installation. So just want to be respectful of everyone's time, and thank you so much for joining us. And please feel free to reach out to any of us, myself, Mary, or any of your AIM representatives to help you get set up.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you. Have
Have
a
a great
great day.
day.